What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Candid Couch. This is our very first episode. We're really excited for you guys to hear. My name is Mariah, and I'm joined by
Kit Benjamin. We are so excited to start this podcast with you guys. Like Mariah said, we're going to have some juicy conversations, get into some good stuff. We want you guys to subscribe, like, share, leave some comments, and hit that bell notification to get more videos, and follow us on our social media platforms.
So yeah, this is our first episode, very first episode. We were inspired to start this podcast because we really love having good, deep conversations. I mean, we're kind of known for that with the people that know us. That's sort of our thing. So we thought, what better than to bring it to this platform? And yeah, let's bring you guys into the conversation.
Yeah, let's do it. It's funny because our house is known to be the place where we kind of have all these deep conversations. My wife and I, we've like, as long as we've been together, we've always had great conversations. I mean, we've been married 4 years. We have a 1 year old, and we just recently had this conversation. Why don't we start a podcast and kind of just like share what we talk about on a day-to-day basis with the world? So
Sort of bring them into our world, and we're going to have guests and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, we're really excited. I mean, aren't you?
I'm definitely excited to see everyone else's opinions about these topics that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, we got some really good topics coming to you guys, and we're going to get into our first topic, and we're going to start it with our question of the day. All right, so our question of the day is, can money buy happiness? So what do you think, Kit? Can money buy happiness?
I mean, that's a good question because it can go either way. I think certain times money can buy happiness. Like, if, for instance, if you are, down on your luck, you got bills and you're really stressed out. If you get a deposit of like, I don't know, 100K or something like that, I think you're going to be pretty happy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, people who have a lot of money and they have some internal issues, I think that with the money that they have, that can kind of make things worse. Like, for instance, if someone has an addiction to something, if that's alcohol or drugs or something like that, if they have a lot of money, they have a lot of resources to get that, and that's going to kind of cause other issues in their life, depression, anxiety, all that type of stuff. So what do you think?
I genuinely think, from my own opinion and my own standpoint, if you give me money, I'd be happy. I mean, I when that direct deposit hit, I'll be pretty happy. That always puts me in a good mood. So like, and I mean, I guess some people may think of it in terms of like, because I know people say like there's a difference between happiness and joy.
Mhm.
There's a difference between happiness and peace. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that money can buy you peace. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it can buy you comfort. I'm not saying any of that, but money can buy you happiness. And I'll explain it this way. Money helps you to live a comfortable life, a more comfortable life than struggling, right? So, struggling can literally create more stress in your life.
Hmm.
It can create more inconvenience in your life. It can stop you from doing the things that you actually want to do. I mean, really think about it, right? So, let's talk about the money, right? So, if I want to lose weight, I can hire a trainer that helps me to lose weight. That
But you
makes me
still have to
happy.
do the work, though.
Right, but the money does help in the goal, right? If I want to live comfortably in a really nice house, I can't go and be like, yo, I want this house. I'm a good person. No, they're gonna be like, where's your money? You know what I mean? What are you willing to pay for this house that you want?
I feel like the things that money brings, I feel like it's kind of temporal though. Like, it's not really long lasting, depending on what it is, of course. Um, like, when you say, okay, yeah, I'm happy because I bought this TV or bought this a new phone or something like that. But that happiness or joy that you get from buying something, it doesn't last long. Eventually, it's going to get old, and it's going to be like, okay, this I want the next new thing.
I agree, but I think this. I think that those types of things can bring you more things, right? So if I say a laptop will help me to grow my business,
Mhm.
that laptop will make me happy in turn because it will do other things that benefit me, right?
That's a good point.
So even back to like, think of the things that you like, right? Materialistic or not materialistic, like money contributes to those things. Do that? I mean, does it not? I mean, like
It
for
does.
me, anytime that I've had money, I'm not saying that it replaces my peace, but it definitely helps me to feel more comfortable. I am less stressed when I feel the safety net of money can cover this issue or this thing. If I got 10 G's in the savings and my tire pop, I'm like, oh, don't worry. Take your time getting here, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think that money definitely brings security in a sense of it. It lowers stress in terms of material things, like you just said. If I need a new tire or my car, something's wrong with my car, I can just go ahead and not worry about it. Like instead of, oh man, how am I gonna get this fixed or whatnot. But on the other end, I don't think money actually should be the source of our happiness. I think we should have joy and happiness if we have money or if we don't have money. Of course, there are stressful situations in life that kind of uh, makes us not happy, and of course, and depending on the situation, the money can make you happy for a short amount of time. But I feel like if you have some deep rooted issues, I don't think money can solve that. I mean, we're Christians, so I think that our joy comes from God, but I think that temporarily the
Nah,
money.
but
What?
listen, look, nah, because listen to this, right?
Okay.
So Donnie McClurkin came to our church once, and he preached a sermon, and he said, "Why does the gospel always have to sort of coincide with being broke?" And my thing is,
I'll agree
I
with that.
I don't think that I would have, and like I said, we're not talking about peace or joy. We're talking about happiness, whether it be
Okay.
temporary or whether it be long term. Like, I think that I can still put my hope and my trust in God and live a comfortable life, because I think
Of
that,
course.
like I said, everything is harder for you when you don't have any money.
Yeah, it's
You
true.
can't eat, you don't have transportation, sometimes you may not have a place to live. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, like, it's not easy to live a comfortable life when you don't have the funds to do so. And the older that I get, the more that I realize, like, everything costs money. When you wake up in the morning, it costs money. When you breathe, it costs money. Like, everything costs money.
Yeah, like I said, it depends. It depends on the thing. Like I feel like if it's issues in your life, I feel like money can't solve that unless it's like getting you therapy or something like that.
But therapy is
Costs
also
money. Yeah.
another thing that benefits your happiness. It does.
Yeah, it
And you
does.
ain't going, I mean, there ain't too many therapists that's like, all right, nah, don't worry about it. Like, I'm free on Friday. I'll go ahead and take you pro bono. Like,
But I think to get back to the question, can money buy happiness? I think it buys. I
happiness.
think it buys happiness temporarily because I mean, if you are alone, right? If you're not in a relationship or something like that, and your goal or dream is to be with someone who loves you, if you have money or don't have money, I mean, can money buy love? Can money buy that hole in your heart for someone else that can make you happy as well?
No, I don't think it has to be either or. I think that there's security in it, though. If we're being honest, there's security in somebody that can provide for you, especially if you're talking about children. Like, where will my kids sleep if we are not financially stable? I mean, that's always a concern.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the question is though, like, all right, can money buy happiness? Are we talking about someone who's rich or someone who just has, you know, enough money just to survive and who's just kind of getting by? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, rich or?
It can be either or. Like, honestly, I think, all right, let's just leave it at the general statement, whether or not money can buy happiness. In whatever way you see happiness, I don't think there's anybody whose happiness will not be added to with some cash.
Of course, because that kind of opens up possibilities and opportunity. Like, if I got money, I know what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna go to the movies, or I'm gonna go ahead and go to Ruth Chris or something like that.
Hey.
I'm gonna go to what's that place called? That place we went in Philly.
Del
Del
Frisco's.
Frisco's in
Del Frisco's
Philly.
with the $130 was it $130 for the lobster tail?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
It was
Um,
good though.
it was
It's
good.
very good.
It was good. But
All right. So, what's your verdict? Do you think that money can buy happiness?
uh because I'm torn because you can have money and still be depressed. I mean, look at all these people who are millionaires who's committing suicide, addicted to drugs. They're trying to find something, and money can't fill that hole. It comes from a deeper place that God could only fill, in my opinion.
That can be subjective though, because not everybody who has money is strung out on drugs. You know what
No,
I
it's
mean? So
not.
I guess it's a case by case. Like, because I can tell you right now, if I got some money, I'm not gonna be like, where the drugs at? Like, I'm
Hold
gonna be
up.
like, I want a nice big house.
More
I
money,
want
more problems.
3 Teslas. I want to make sure my child can go to college. Like, there's a lot that money can do for me right now.
Yeah, that's true. But there's a saying that says more money, more problems. You got
But
more,
you always gonna have problems.
but you got more money, it's gonna cause more problems.
But money solves problems,
And if it
right?
causes problems, you're gonna get gypped
Whatever.
and get robbed.
Whatever. All right, y'all. What do y'all think? Let us know in the comments. Do
Yeah,
y'all
let us know.
think that money can buy happiness? Let us know.
All right, it's time to get into that topic of the day. And that topic is unpopular opinions.
My unpopular opinion. All right. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. Don't come for me. Don't question me. I'm saying this from my chest.
Don't come from you.
I'm saying this from my chest, and I mean it. Soul food is overrated.
You bugging.
It's overrated, and
You
I'm going to tell
tripping,
you
yo.
why. It's loaded with carbs, fat, sugar,
It's
salt.
it's comfort
It's the
food.
king and queen of sodium. I mean, it's too much.
All right,
Can
look.
we at least agree that it's too much?
All
And
right,
if you really think about the way other countries do food, we're definitely doing too much.
I agree with that. But at the same time, you got to look at it like this. Most people who eat soul food is kind of a well in the black uh, tradition or community. It's like a well, we black people typically don't eat the best anyway. But I think that the soul food is kind of like a staple for Thanksgiving, and I think that yeah, it's unhealthy, but it's comfort food, and it's once a year. You pick out once a year if you live in a healthy lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that,
The fact that
and
your
it's banging.
body, nah. Listen, the fact that your body has to go into sleep mode, shutdown mode. I need a minute. I need a second to get my life together before you do anything else. I mean, that's what the itis is. Your body is basically saying you're doing too much. I can't handle all this right now. So whether it's one day of the year or whether it's every time that we get together as a black family, and this is a thing in the black community, like, oh, Uncle Joe, when I'm coming over, let's put something on the grill. It's a thing for us. Food is a thing.
Mac
It's
and
a part of
cheese.
our culture. But mac and cheese, like that is so much on our body if you really think about it. And to me, someone who has studied food. I mean, studied it. If you're talking culturally, I think that we miss the mark sometimes in the way that we make food. I'm talking about specifically like soul food in the black community. I think there's ways to make it tasty where it's not breaking down your body immediately after you eat it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And I know you have some experience in the kitchen. If y'all don't know, my wife's a former chef. Well, I won't say former, but she know how to throw down in the kitchen.
So I
But
know what I'm talking
she
about.
knows what she's talking about. I give her that. But at the same time, I mean, who's giving up mac and cheese, candy yams, string beans,
When you go to that
sweet
doctor,
pineapple ham?
when
I
you
said that
go to
already, right?
that doctor and they say what you
Cornbread.
been eating, you gonna be like, man, it was a good time. No, you're gonna be like, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have been doing
I
this.
think we're doing something that's kind of crazy though. For our house for Thanksgiving, we don't do turkey. Like it's just something we don't do. We kind of replace it with like ham with the like sweet ham with the pineapple or like
But even
chicken.
ham, though, even ham is not good for you. Like none of it's good
No,
for
no, I'm
you.
not saying it's good. I'm just saying like because I think most people eat turkey. It's kind of like a thing you have to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I know I'm kind of changing the topic a little bit, but
Listen,
that just came to my mind.
Thanksgiving or a regular gathering on Saturday with Uncle Pip and Aunt
Pip.
Marie. I don't know, we The uncle with the slow bob, show up, with the hat tilted to
Yeah.
this. Everybody got an uncle with a slow bob, and he show up with his
So
big plate, like he ready. And I'm gonna tell you this right now:
Thanksgiving.
agree or disagree, soul food is overrated. All right.
Let me ask you this: is soul food strictly for Black people?
Well, in context, soul food is basically something that's traditional to a specific culture. So, like, to Chinese people, like Chinese food is soul food. So, soul food is whatever it is that kind of we resonate with
Comes from your
for our
soul.
right.
Comes from the soul.
Yeah, and it goes straight to your thighs. It's from our culture. So, I mean, we know what we're talking about when we say soul food. I mean, if you
Yeah,
know
you
soul
do.
food, you know soul food. All right, all right.
Word.
So that's my first unpopular opinion. We'll do two. We'll do two each. So that's my first one. That's my first unpopular opinion. I definitely think that soul food is overrated. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. I mean, we put everything in the world in it to make it taste good. So I'm not saying it's not good. Not saying it don't taste good. But I am saying it's overrated. All
All
right,
right.
where's yours, man?
All right. Cool. My unpopular opinion is men are equally emotional, just as women. So I think are men are very emotional, just like women. I know that it may not be expressed the same way like women express themselves. And I think that's the difference. But
I agree.
most people, some I would say most women, I think that oh, why it's so hard for him to open up, or but I think men are very emotional because if you if you let's see, for example, like for instance, if you say something to a guy, like I know this is a huge thing for men. If a woman, your wife, your girlfriend, anybody, if you're a woman and you're talking to a man and your tone is not in check,
Hey,
or it
Jack.
or it's not an appropriate tone,
Help
we
us,
gonna have a
God.
problem.
Help us,
Like you're not gonna
God.
be talking crazy to me out here. Like,
Help us, God.
come
Listen,
on, man.
I'm gonna tell you this.
We gonna get real emotional real quick.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? All right. You let a man cook for you, right? And you don't like the food, and you voice that you don't like the food, he ain't never ever touching that pan. He ain't never
Nah.
touching a spatula. He ain't never nothing on the cutting board. He's not cooking again. And I'll tell you why. There's ego involved sometimes that makes you guys sensitive. And I'm not saying that, ego has everything to do with it, but there's an ego and a pride that makes you sensitive. So you really want us to like everything you do.
Yeah.
You really want us to like everything about you. And sometimes it can be hurtful. And I'll tell you this, like, I think that you guys are not allowed to express it the way the women do. Like, if I am walking down the street and I'm crying, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" But if a man is walking down the street crying, like, what's this
What's
guy
wrong with this
doing?
guy?
Like, yeah, like put it together, bro. Like, wait till you get home. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different the way society sees it. But I agree. I think that men are just as emotional, if not more, than women.
But I think that's what causes a lot of problems with men because they have this stigma that oh, men can't cry, men can't express themselves. That says, but that causes more problems because you're bundling things up inside of you. I mean, we have tears for a reason. All of us do. I mean, they're supposed to be released when you feel something like you're sad or whatnot. Um, and that's fine. I think more men should cry. I
I
think
agree.
most more men should cry. More men should express themselves because
It's
one,
relief.
you don't have to worry about going home and then not knowing how to express yourself. And also going back to the thing you brought up a second ago with the woman. I think us men do our best work when our wives, our girlfriends is cheering us on and being our cheerleader. I know it may not always be necessary, but like you said, if I cook you dinner or something like that, and you say, "Man, boo, this thing crazy good. Like, what you put in this thing? You something. What you put in this? You put something in this thing. Like, I think that will for the next time. I'm like, oh man, she like that. Oh, what?
So I'm gonna do more of it.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah.
like, boo, I don't know about this one. Like, I mean, some guys are more sensitive than others. They like, all right, I'm gonna try my best to make it better next time. And some guys are like, I ain't cooking no more. You sound crazy.
I was listening to Tab and Chance and Tabitha Brown and Chance Brown, and he said, my wife, he said, if my wife tell me I could do something, can't nobody tell me I can't do it. He said,
Yeah,
if my wife told me I can go outside and pick the truck up, I'm gonna try it, and she gonna be there coaching me on, but I'm gonna try it. But
yeah.
like I think it's a big difference.
I think that's true because I mean, I feel like that has been the story for me, I know there's plenty of times in my life where I've doubted myself. Like I know, recently kind of started a career as an engineer, and I've had so many doubts. My wife has been my cheerleader. She's like, "You can do this. You can look at all the things." But the thing about my wife is she likes to compare things in my life. Like, hey, um, you did this great. You learned piano. You did this. Why can't you overcome this hurdle? And that kind of makes me think, wow, she's right. I could do this. So I think it's very empowering when your partner, your spouse, kind of like gives you that boost. And I think that's why we're meant to be together, to kind of encourage one another and help us out.
I agree. So I guess we can say that I guess we can say we agree that we are emotional as women, but I think men are equally, if not more emotional than women, or equally.
I think we
S-
equally, but I
I,
think you guys express it more than we do, so it
yes,
comes off as if you guys are more emotional.
right. But really we're just expressing it
Yeah,
more, and sometimes maybe even better. I mean, I guess we'll see.
yeah.
um we'll see as life progresses. We'll see what we can say about that. Okay, so for my second one, my unpopular opinion, I think, and I don't want to expound on this too much and take up too much time, but I think that college is also overrated, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Most of the time what you are paying for tuition is not what you will be making in 1 year of being employed in that thing. Now, if we're talking about doctors and lawyers, of course, y'all need a lot of training to do what you do. There's a lot of things that you need training for. But if we could get to like a certificate type basis, so and so finished this program and can do XYZ, which will prepare them for X, Y, and Z job. This
Hmm.
is what they know. This is what they don't know. That's it. This is what we taught them. This is what they walked away with, and they can or cannot do this job. And if you're talking about reality, like in college, like when you really want a good job, I mean, you got to be in college for like 4, 5, 6 years. And doctors, man, oh, I mean, like
8, 10 years, I
that's
think.
a minute. That's a minute. So I
It's two
think that
minutes.
there are a lot of things that you could be doing in that other time that would be contributing to your career. And if we're being honest, most colleges you're learning things that don't necessarily coincide with your career. Like when I went to culinary school, I had to take like a feminist class. Like, I mean, of course we need math and stuff like that, but like, come on, like some of these classes, like, kidding me? It was like a like women's psychology or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's overrated in the context of, I think that the years you spend in college, you could be spending in your field getting paid, learning while getting paid, or have the knowledge and getting paid. And I just think it's too expensive. I think it takes up too much time, and I think they throw in too many things that you don't actually need in your workforce.
I think that it depends because depending on your career path, I think college is necessary. Like you said, if you want to be a doctor, that's necessary. You need to know what you're doing. If you're going to do surgery on somebody, it's a life or death situation, you need to know what you know. Like, same with the law. I mean, you need to know the law as well. So I think school is necessary in that regard. But other fields, I mean, if you don't want to go to college to be, I don't know, like a, let me think, like for instance, if you wanted to work in tech, you may not necessarily need to get a college degree or whatnot. I think you have so many options now. You have trade schools, you got boot camps and all the things to kind of bypass all the, I guess you could say, quote unquote, unnecessary uh classes. Like, but if you think about it, some of those quote unquote unnecessary classes are kind of necessary. Like, for instance, if you're working with technology, you might need to know some math, or you might need, but you're going to need to know how to read and write and all that communication. All those things are very necessary, in my opinion, for every field. I mean, you need to know about math, you need to know how to read, you need to know how to write, you need to know how to communicate, you need to know how to
I mean,
speak
of course you need to know
publicly.
how to do
All
that,
those
but
things. And that's, now if you're talking about history and all that, I feel like if you got a job in culinary, if you're not talking about history about food or different cultures, in terms of food, if you're just talking about random history, it's like that's a little
it doesn't
unnecessary
apply.
at all.
Right. All right. So that's mine. I think that college is overrated. And like I said, there can be a context to that statement, but overall, I think it's pretty overrated. All right, so
Okay.
what's your second
I
one?
got one here. This is a very unpopular one. I'm sure of it, and I'm sure I might get some hate for it, but it's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Don't say it if
I
you can't
think
expound on it, because you know they're gonna come for you.
I don't care, man. It's just how I feel.
All right.
I'm not really into politics that much, but I really believe, based on this last year, and even I believe it was last year as well. I feel like Donald Trump was kind of a better president than Joe Biden. I know
Ooh-wee.
I know that's a hot
Ooh-wee.
topic, but like I mean, look what's going on.
Well, this is our last episode. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Nah,
He's canceled.
man, I don't care. Man, like we all have our own opinions. I feel like I mean it's evident. Like look at the gas prices. Was the gas this high when Trump was in office? That's one example. I mean, were there like I mean the president of the United States, it seems like he struggles to communicate to an audience talking about simple things.
He
I
old,
mean,
baby. He
he's
old.
old. I know he's old. I mean, this is a guy I listen to sometimes, Brandon Tatum. He's a pretty big YouTuber, and he calls him Sleepy Joe. I kind of always laugh when he says that because it's like he's sleeping when he up there. He does things that's kind of like, okay, what's going on? You have people in his party helping him up on the stage, and it's like, this is our leader. This is the person that's leading our nation. And yeah, I know Trump has his quirks, and I know he's very outspoken and out there, and some people don't like that. But I mean, it's a lot of things. Like even I mean, even I think it was another thing that happened where Trump, I mean Biden left all the war equipment or like tanks and all that stuff that costs a lot of money in another country. I mean that's like millions of dollars of military equipment. It's just like stuff like that. It's like dang, you know. Like I said, I'm not into politics, but I mean that's just my opinion. I think things were a little better, and we got the stipends and all that stuff, and
The
the
stimmies.
stimmies. He gave us a lot of money,
Them
so I mean,
stimmies,
but I
though.
know I don't think those would have been dished out if COVID wasn't here, though. But I
No,
mean,
no, nobody's throwing. And I feel like we're paying it back now in gas and everything. Groceries are up, so I think we're paying it back. All right, so those are our unpopular opinions. Let us know in the comments. Let us know, what you guys think about our unpopular opinions, and let us know what y'all unpopular opinions are.
all right, guys, thanks for joining us on our first episode of the Candid Couch. I mean, we really enjoyed talking with you guys. We would love for you guys to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell notification on YouTube, so you can get notified for our future videos. Please leave some comments, y'all. We want to hear from you guys. All right. And you can also follow us on our social media platforms at the Candid Couch Podcast on Instagram, same on Facebook. And yeah, we would love for you guys to get back to us. Have a great one.
Tune in with us. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.